All right, let's get this show on the road so we can all go home. It is Thursday, July 14th at 6:02 p.m. and I'm calling the Finance Committee to order. Could we do the minutes, approval of the minutes from June 23rd? Thank God you printed that because I didn't.
Yeah. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of June 23rd.
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're all set.
Okay.
See ya.
No, we have one more. We have a reserve fund transfer, and it's for us.
We're special.
We have to pay Tamika $267.42 above what was in our budget. So we need to transfer $267.42 from the reserve fund to properly fund the Finance Committee Secretary's.
So moved as presented.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Only that she deserves everything.
Thank you, Pete.
Put a bonus in there.
There you go.
And then some.
Yeah.
I think we might get in trouble for
That
that.
could be a problem. Deserved, but it could be a problem.
Anything that's not used, you can have. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's it. Now, do I sign this as department head?
Yes.
Oh, brother, my signature's everywhere on this damn thing. Okay. We're gonna have that same problem next year, guys, just so you know.
Well, not if we put enough money in there.
We didn't because I did what I did and I was supposed to be double checked by someone who's no longer with us and I can promise you it wasn't double checked, so we're gonna probably need to do the same thing.
I wonder what that could be.
Oh, well.
Yes, it is what it is.
If that's the least we have to do.
That's right.
Exactly,
minimal.
it's not gonna be, yeah. All right, so we've got a reserve, interdepartmental transfer, $538.10 from Town Administrator Purchase Services to AT&T Verizon, and it's the town phones.
I tried to be descriptive with what I
Yes,
did.
it's, it was budgeted, we've never gotten this right. Was budgeted for fiscal year 22 and is currently in a balance of negative 126.32. The amount requested includes 126.32 to bring the account to a zero balance and $206.43 for the June 30th Verizon bill that has not yet been received, and the $205.35 for the June 30th AT&T mobility bill. This will satisfy all bills paid from this account for fiscal year 2022.
Make a motion we approve the request as documented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And next we have transfer of $198.15 from select board salaries to select board secretary salaries, which is at negative 86.21. The hours worked by the secretary exceeded the amount budgeted. It pretty much is 86.21 to bring the account to a zero balance and 111.94 for the final pay period of the fiscal year.
I make a motion we approve this as documented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Only that this is another one of those situations, right? This is Tamika, right?
Yep.
So,
Ditto.
All in favor?
aye.
Okay.
And luckily, there was money left in that account just because there are select board members who don't take their
Yeah, don't
stipends.
take, yep,
so
exactly.
it worked out.
Thank goodness. Okay, and then we have $325.64 from Appeals Purchase Services to Appeals Clerical, and that's the number of hours worked by the secretary exceeded the amount budgeted for fiscal year 2022. The amount requested includes $235.92 to bring the account to zero and $89.72 for the final pay of the fiscal year.
I make a motion that we approve this as documented.
Second.
Is this, what, shouldn't we just put in Tamika's name?
I'm the one that filled out the forms too.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. One more. Okay, we got $2,500 from town accountant purchase services to town accountant salary. And the reason why is because the town accountant position has gone from a contractual service to an employee paid position as of June 1st, 2022.
I'll make the motion, we approve it as documented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, question?
Yep.
I guess I just don't understand why, because it's going from a salary position,
No, went from a contractual to a salary.
contractual to a salary. Why? Why
couldn't we just?
Isn't that money there?
No. But you have to pay it on two different lines. Salary is paid on one line, and 1099 people is paid from a different line. So all they're doing is
Okay.
moving it from the 1099 line to the salary line. That's all.
1099, good to know.
Yep. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, we have one more expense report that should be coming from Jean next Monday that will have all the encumbrances. And then just take a look at it and see what you see. I think we're gonna be potentially being asked to have a meeting with the select board. It did
For the purposes of,
going through and seeing why some lines have so much and some lines don't have so much.
On that budget report we got,
Yes.
I printed it.
Well, there'll be another one coming out Monday with the encumbrances on it. I had a meeting with Gary, and his thought process is to do a full budget. And it's so that we can potentially see the need for 2.5 override.
what?
We last time I discussed it, the town administrator was starting the budget process early, starting in like September.
Right.
And we were trying to figure out why. So I went and met with him, and it's to make sure that we put together a budget that shows what the town needs, and potentially be able to, at that point, educate folks on.
Oh, do it sooner than later.
Yeah.
Do it sooner than being reactive. All right, so, but this is telling us that, with the exception of the encumbrances, that there might be some extra, might be money that
There'll be
might
free
come back.
cash. There'll be free cash.
But again, all right, so this is sort of, I mean, I know that Ron was very adamant about free cash is one time, blah, 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 blah.
It is.
It is, except that this is indicating that we're underspending. So if the spending isn't keeping up to what the expectations are, then we should be okay. I mean, we can use that to do other things, but there's no need of budgeting to that extent if we're going to be under like that.
I think the other concern is that a lot of people are saying they underspent because they were told they had to, and they not necessarily were doing what they needed to do. For instance, the select board is underspent on their legal lines because they were told by the previous town administrator that they didn't have money in the line, and there's plenty of money in the line.
Okay,
So I think that was a different regime.
okay. And given that may be true, if this is an indication of what the budget is sufficient to run whatever is being spent here, assuming that it covers everything. Things that weren't being done because they didn't have the money for it could be done because the money is there. That would mean that there'd be no need for 2.5 override, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff.
There's so
that
much
still needs
stuff
to
that
be
we're not
done.
doing. We're not properly staffing the DPW. We're not properly staffing so many departments
But-
that they desperately need the assistance because we've grown at such a pace. We haven't added anybody to the town hall staff.
Okay.
And population has more than doubled since I've been here, and we've not added anybody up there.
But given apples to apples, the way it was in 2022, the way it is in 2023, going into 2024, if the 2023 number stays the way that it is, then there's no need, unless somebody says, we need to be able to go in and restaff and rebuild and.
They come in and tell us that every single year,
I
but
know that, but we'd never do it.
because we can't afford it. So that's the thing, we cannot afford it, because the money that we get from our tax levy isn't enough.
But they said here.
I'm not gonna believe that until it's the final, with all the encumbrances, because I'm not gonna believe
It's
it.
almost $600,000. Given that maybe there's $300,000 in encumbrances, there's still $300,000 that we haven't spent.
Yes, but when you look at how tight we run everything,
No, I understand.
when we run that so tight that if
And $300,000 is
it's
nothing.
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 All it takes is somebody to get sick, and we have to hire in a consultant to run something. We have one of our DPW guys get sick.
Mhm.
We're not going to be able to plow the roads accordingly. We're going to have to hire out to get them. Well, that's not budgeted, so that 300,000 go like that.
And
We've just been lucky.
What
So-
about the union negotiations too?
I was
All right,
talking
well,
to
so-
Peter about that.
Yeah, so that's.
So if the salaries end up going up,
Well, if there's
Well, we
300,000, 150, that's already, if we keep doing the same thing we've been doing for
Yeah.
the budget
Right.
next
I would
year,
also
so-
say that the snow and ice, which went to emergency HERF funds,
Yep.
Right.
that would have been that 300,000 instantly.
Right.
And then-
So,
yeah, and then some.
really, our operating budget is a lot higher
Right.
than we're actually
Considering we
I don't think
paid,
we're- got
we
too much
paid
extra.
for the Board of Health nurse through ARPA funds, we paid we paid snow and ice through ARPA funds, we paid
Snow and ice
for
alone.
that was 300, wasn't it?
Something like that.
three,
So
yeah.
there's the
Three
difference
something.
right there. So
And then
if
you
didn't
figure
have
we
that-
paid a lot of things using ARPA funds this year.
So,
The nurses.
so
All
all
right,
of
Pete,
that.
we got rid of that money, so they're all done there.
Yeah. So all of that, to me, just says that we're going to need to be able to go in and ask for 2.5 override.
The
We're not
problem
gonna-
is,
we're not gonna
you
get
just
it.
said 2.5 overrides for staffing, and a 2.5 override, to my knowledge, is a one-time thing for 1 year, right? So
No.
No.
No,
Continues.
it's
That-
ongoing.
That's then becomes the bottom,
Yeah.
and everything gets
That's your
added
new
to that.
baseline.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
But the
No,
point,
it stays
but which is why
A debt
it gets
exclusion
defeated
is
every
for
year.
the one thing.
Okay.
Right.
for the length of that thing, and then it goes away.
Right,
Right.
but that's why it gets voted down, because everybody knows we're increasing everybody's tax burden by whatever we approve, whatever gets approved.
And no one wants to increase your tax.
No
No
one
one
wants
wants the
to be able to
taxes
do that.
increased, but they
Well-
but then they complain that we don't
We
have
don't
enough
have
money to do,
services.
right.
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 You can't have your
This
cake and
is,
eat it too.
this is damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right, some years they work, some
Yeah.
years they haven't,
Yeah.
so.
So to your point, it's a good idea to get started early, to start building the cases for the need. But it's going to have to be a much better job than it's been in the past. I mean, we're not talking about,
It's-
trust me, I need
It's
the
gonna
money.
be a lot on the department heads.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a lot on the department heads, because it's gonna require them to do a lot of budgeting and rebudgeting, because the governor's budget numbers, which is what we go off for revenue, won't be out until January, so.
right, right. So how does Gary feel about that? I mean, does he feel comfortable it's gonna be able to get done? I mean, he could tell them to do it and they do it, but,
I didn't ask that question, because
okay.
I don't really, comfort level isn't what my concern is. If you're putting it out there, then you've got to get it accomplished. And what was the purpose of going out so much earlier? That's what I cared about. Comfort level wasn't my concern.
It's just a matter of, how much confidence did he have that it's going to be able to get done right. I can just see it creating a frustration, that's all. And,
We've done this before. When Margaret was here, we started early,
yeah,
and those department heads were budgeting and budgeting and budgeting and budgeting and budgeting all year long. And
Yeah.
it does, and our department heads are already being asked to do a lot with
exactly.
little. So it's asking a lot. I brought that up, and he was here for that, so.
Yeah, he was
He was
the
a department
DPW
head.
guy, right? Yeah.
Yep. So, I will send it out a note, because they still haven't finished all the union negotiations. They haven't talked with one of the police unions yet, but I will ask to find out where we stand, so that at least we'll know what's coming down the pike for this year, if we're gonna have to use any of our free cash funds to fund retroactive union negotiation
Okay.
changes.
Yeah.
I will send that out. KP Law is going up $20 an hour, and they approved it on Monday night to be our legal counsel for the town.
The new or the same one?
It's the same one we've had now for a
But it's a
few.
new contract, if you will.
Price increase.
Yeah, it's just, we don't,
We don't have a contract, there's no per diem. there.
yeah, we don't have a retainer with them.
Retainer,
It's just,
yeah.
I guess they're
appointed as town
They're
council.
yeah.
they're appointed as
Right.
town council. There's no retainer. It's as we
Correct.
use them, so it's that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, it's the same people that we've been using
Okay, good.
4 years,
Wow.
5 years. It might have actually been Margaret that brought him in, I think. But-
Yeah, Jackie and I were actually just talking about that the other day. I think it was 2015.
I was gonna say I think it was Margaret
Yeah,
who
when
brought him
Margaret
in
came on.
because
Mhm.
that we needed him. So, is there anything else that anyone wants to discuss? I'll forward out those as soon as I get them from Jean.
I'm just waiting for Darren to show up so we can adjourn.
I don't know if he's in town.
I don't think he is either.
I don't know. He didn't respond, so I'm assuming he's not.
So I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.